And one of the first things that I did that was really impactful for us is I switched to an Amazon business account.
Yes.
And on the business, it's like the biggest hack I feel like for bookkeeping.
I've gotten into like learning how to underwrite boutique hotels because I need more buckets to go into.
If you quit your job, you need the cash from the business.
Yeah.
So you can't put the cash back in the business for it to grow. Well, and everything feels like, I don't like this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, everything's uncomfortable in the beginning.
Yeah, women who wear makeup make 30% more money.
I saw that.
Right?
I like shopping and getting my hair done and my quarterly Botox, and I don't want to give that up.
I'm here sharing inspiring stories about fearless entrepreneurial women to help encourage you to live your life unapologetically. I'm your host, Heather Blankenship. Welcome to the Unapologetically Me podcast.
On today's episode, I'm going to be chatting with Sarah King, and I love our conversation because we talk about how not everyone actually needs to leave their W-2 job. And as we listen to social media, everyone's always like, leave your W-2 job sooner, go all in on real estate. And there's actually some people who genuinely love their job and do this for a different reason. So let's dive in. Sarah, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So we're both in Vegas at a conference.
Yes.
What are you teaching on?
So Chad Carson and I are doing a session where we talk about how to not quit your day job and to grow a portfolio.
Okay, so I want to dig into that because I feel like every soundbite, every attention-grabbing moment on social media right now is like, leave your W-2 in 6 weeks, buy your first deal so you know, can retire early. Like it's all geared around assuming everyone should be leaving their day job.
Yeah.
But in reality, I know that not everyone wants to keep their job, right?
No.
We all have different goals. And I think that's probably where this starts because you hear stuff on the internet and they try and make it sound like there's only one way to make money or you have to invest this way. But there are legitimately people like yourself who have great paying day jobs that they enjoy, that they're passionate about, and that it like truly fills a cup for them. But they either need the tax benefits or they want something different for retirement. Maybe they want to pass something down to their children. Maybe they're genuinely just interested in finance in addition to whatever their day job is. These are doctors, lawyers, tech people, all kinds of different types of industries that have good paying jobs. So in theory, those people should keep their day jobs.
Yes.
Talk us through that.
I think so. So I was at a conference once, and this is my favorite little quote I learned. It was a Cody Sanchez that shamelessly stole from her. And she said, people who stay in their job are 33% more likely to succeed than someone who leaves their job and goes all in. And I thought that was a really interesting stat because I've just been surrounded by, Bigger Pockets and all of these, platforms. And so many people are like, quit your day job, go all in real estate, make the jump. And I like the hybrid model, and I feel like it does take a lot of work on the back end, but at least you have the stability of the job kind of coming in. So I think it's really important to stick it out. And I have had jobs I absolutely hate, and I've had jobs I absolutely love. And right now I'm in a love season, but I just came out of one that I really despised. And so I've been there where you're hustling really hard and trying to get out. But you gotta, figure out which camp you're in.
And so there's kind of two pros that come to mind to that for me. So first, you're a lot more bankable. So it's easier to get financing. And after you've bought quite a few deals, like the financing part isn't quite as big of a piece. Because you have other properties you could leverage. You have a reputation, or maybe you've built some relationships with lenders. But when you're first getting started, if you're going to go the traditional route for financing as opposed to creative finance, those first few loans can be pretty tough. And being bankable because you have a traditional job can be a make it or break it for some people. And not that it has to be, but they give up because they can't figure that part out.
I absolutely scaled up in the beginning because of the bankability. It was just so easy to take on mortgages.
And so that is part of that. What are some other pros to continuing to wait?
I think, houses just have so many things go wrong. And I think when I first got into the job, I was like, I'm going to buy cash flowing properties and I'm going to retire early off just a few properties. And it takes a lot of work and things keep breaking. And, you have water heaters, you have all these things go wrong. And it's really hard to, and as interest rates crept up, you kind of had to pivot a little bit with strategy. And so I just like the security, the backbone of having.
That's that second point I was bringing up. Because if you quit your job, you need the cash from the business.
Yeah.
So you can't put the cash back in the business for it to grow.
Yes.
So you need to not need the cash, which is kind of counterintuitive for finance sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you're like, oh, you put it in the stock market, you start getting this cash back, right? Or you start getting, cash back's not the right way to word that, but you start getting your return, right? As soon as the money goes in theory.
Yeah.
And some other investments, if you were to buy gold or silver, right? Like maybe it continues to go up. But you really need to not take that cash in the beginning because you need to build up.
Recycle it in.
You do, whether it's to buy the next property or it's to remodel the property. It's to build up your, why is the word not coming for me? Capital expenses. We're in Vegas and it's 11 o'clock, which means it's like 2 o'clock at my house. I should be able to figure this out by now. Capital expenses. I feel like that's one of the places that people, they really don't save for vacancies or capital expenses.
Right.
And when something goes broke and something breaks and your tenant moves out and you weren't prepared for it, like a lot of people really suffer then, especially if you need the cash. So being able to save up that capital expense budget, your vacancy budget, and then eventually someday live off the cash flow is probably how we get to that statistic, if I had to guess, on being more successful.
Yeah, I think one of the big things I learned in how I'm trying to like work on positioning it for people with a job that to kind of wrap your head around is you need an active and a passive.
Yeah.
So your passive like builds well. So I'm also like a very nerdy like stock investor and love index funds and just have a very boring like grandma's investing strategy on the backside. And then I have something active to give me money to live off of, to like feed our kids, maintain our mortgage. And so you need both. And I think sometimes people look at long-term rentals as this like amazing cash flow play, but really they're long-term wealth builders. And you're building out this portfolio that appreciates over time that you sell, unless you're able to live extremely frugally off of, you know, the $200 to $500 cash flow a door. But it just wasn't enough. I'm a high maintenance person. So I was like, I cannot live off that amount of money. I'm going to be, you know, broke. So so my day job is the cash flow side. And
okay. So I also love that you're willing to admit that.
Yeah.
Because some people have like this negative connotation towards like, stop getting your Starbucks. You don't need your hair done. Yeah. Like whatever the things are they come up with, right? Live at this really low amount of money, which I do think you have a period of time that you need to do that.
Yes.
Right? But then you need to eventually be able to not have to do that anymore. Otherwise, what are we working for?
Exactly.
So I love that you're unapologetically high maintenance. When you say you're high maintenance, tell me what you mean by that.
I mean, I still like to shop. I feel like my budget's pretty flexible. Like we still like to eat out. We still like to shop. But I originally came off of like Dave Ramsey and then the financial independence people where they're like penny pitching and riding their bike to work. And I'm like, I tried to ride my bike to work once. I got to work. I was like sweaty, dripping. I'm like, I will never make it. I don't know how these people live like this. And I'm like, props to them. Like, I wish I was a little low maintenance, but I've just come to accept that I like shopping and getting my hair done and my quarterly Botox, and I don't want to give that up.
So you're working for your Botox?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so it's interesting you say that because I'm going back to you saying you're unashamedly, how'd you say that?
Unapologetic?
No,
maybe?
you're stealing Cody's quote, and you're...
Oh, shamelessly?
Shamelessly.
Yes.
She also, I think she must have this amazing team that looks up statistics on interesting things because there's no way she actually knows all of those statistics.
Right.
But one of the ones that she shared a couple times is that women who wear makeup make 30% more money.
I saw that.
Right?
Yeah.
And I hate putting on makeup.
I know.
Even this morning, I'm having to say, Heather, women who wear makeup make 30% more money. Get ready. You have to get ready to go. And so it's interesting how we remember those things. And that's kind of some of the things that drive us.
Yeah.
But I think some of it goes back to, how old are you?
I'm 36.
I think as women, we aren't really allowed to like age gracefully.
Yes.
So we keep the hair, the makeup, because it's true. If you make 30% more money,
we're not becoming the silver fox. Like I
have 100% white hair.
Really?
Yes.
That's impressive.
It's my hair has to be colored every 2 weeks.
All the time.
Yes. Or it's just, I look like a skunk.
Oh, man.
And
that's a See, girls have to have such a commitment.
I know. So I take my iPad and I'm working because who has time to do that?
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, you get to go to the beauty shop. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. It takes forever.
It takes forever. I hate getting my nails done because your hands are both tied up and I'm like, I need to be doing something. I just can't.
Well, I found someone who will do my hands and my feet at the same time.
Oh, nice.
So at least it gets me out faster so that because otherwise I'm like crawling out of my skin because of all the things I can think of I just
Yeah.
have to do, which is probably a problem. It
Yes.
means we should have some
We have a
therapy over
problem.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, y'all, I know today's episode is inspiring, but inspiration alone will never carry us to our ultimate goals. That's why I started the Society of Entrepreneurial Women. It's a mastermind for high-performing female investors and entrepreneurs who are living their lives unapologetically. In a world where most people don't get us, or they try to keep us confined in a small box, the Society exists to turn off the brakes and set you free. We have weekly calls covering investing, wealth building, health, relationships, family, and a whole lot more. We have small tribes to hold each other accountable to our goals. We have in-person, ladies-only retreats to disconnect and drive each other towards our dreams. And most importantly, this is a community where you can be unapologetically you. Celebrate your wins, scream your successes from the top of the rooftop, become best friends with women who get you. We're 3 years in, and I can honestly say my best friends today are all from the Society. Click the link in the show notes to learn more.
Yeah.
At one of our retreats, we have women's retreats where there's kind of a mix between a girls' weekend and a conference. And I gave everybody stickers that said, "It's me, I'm the problem."
Yes.
And did my talk on that. That's totally us with that, because
I love that quote.
we
all the
should be
time.
able to be still for a moment.
Yes.
But we have too many commitments.
Too many commitments.
Speaking of
And
that,
also, I just try to shove in my 9 to 5 because I really want to see my kids in the
that's what I was
afternoon.
going to
in the
ask
morning.
about. So with the job
Yeah.
that you have,
Yeah.
you said you studied genes.
I did genetics. So,
Genetics.
Yeah.
Is that different than genes?
Kinda. Yeah. I mean, I guess genetics is kind of the general term, like being a genetic counselor, because there's more than just the genes. There's proteins and all sorts of very nerdy things about it. So,
But you travel for that job.
Yes, I do.
And you're a real estate investor.
Yeah.
And a mom of 2.
Yes.
How are you juggling that?
Some days better than others, I will say. It takes a whole village of support. I have a very supportive husband. I have grandmas and a nanny at some points, just depending on, through the years. And so it takes a whole team to really do it. But I think when I am home, I try to be really present and really make the best of our time, and then do vacations together as well. So
Do you realize how blessed you are to have that village?
so incredibly blessed. Yeah. But that's why I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So.
Okay. That's very real. Because if I want that village, I need to move to Mississippi.
Yeah.
And my husband and I keep being do we really want to we're going to move to Mississippi.
It's a real thing.
I know. And then we're maybe not. And they're no, we're going to move to Mississippi. We want the village. And then we're Caroline and I are we could be each other's village.
Yes.
Because I don't want to move to Mississippi.
Right.
But you're right. It's that balance. You've got to
Yeah.
give up something to get that.
Yeah.
And as you're traveling and you're doing that and you're saying that you need to be present when you're there, how do you do that? How do you turn off I need to look at my phone, what's going wrong? Because you have a co-hosting business.
Yes.
So you're still dealing with tenants.
Yes.
Or guests, if it's Airbnb.
Yeah.
So how do you turn that off when
So
you're
I'm
with your kids?
100% self-managing because I'm an insane person right now, and I have
Same. Yeah.
10 long-term rentals, and then 6 Airbnbs, and then 2 under management. So it's a lift, but you have to have teams. So the short-term rental co-hosting piece is pretty compartmentalized. There's a maintenance crew. They're on every listing. So if there's a maintenance need, they see it. And then I have property inspectors. I have a cleaning crew. We're all in a group message where they keep me updated on properties. But then I have VAs that do all the guest communications, so I can actually present with my family. Otherwise, I just wouldn't ever see them, or I try not to be on my phone for that piece.
So it's kind of the who, not how.
Yes.
And so if we're talking to the single mom or overcommitted mom who's got the job, the kids, the husband, trying to buy the real estate, how would you tell her to get started? Since when you first start, you might not be able to afford that village, and you might not be able to hire out all those team members. How would you encourage her to get over that first hurdle?
I think you just have to do the first deal and learn what you do and don't like. And I know a lot of people say that because just jump in and try something. And everyone, if you're new, you're that's terrible advice. I don't know what I'm doing. But you can figure it out. And there are people online that genuinely want to help you. And I think we live in such a cool time where you can Google pretty much any issue you have, or make it network on Instagram and have this free space where you can get help, just figuring it out in the early days. And then sooner than you think you're ready for, outsource what you don't like. But it takes a little while to get going because at first you are going to be DIYing.
Well, and everything feels like, I don't like this. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah. Everything's uncomfortable in the beginning.
Yeah. And I always tell people you're not failing, you're giving up too soon.
Yes.
Because if you give up too soon, none of it gets comfortable to know. Because you're not going to love everything every day. But then there's some things you're going to hate every day. And you're like, okay, this is the part I'm going to give up.
I hate bookkeeping. I will die on I still hate bookkeeping, like, to my core. I just hate that part.
I think
that's my first hire.
What a lot of people hate.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah. I still don't like it because they're like, Sarah, what did you buy for $700 at Lowe's in February? I'm like, great question.
Okay, so that's kind of how I own a bookkeeping company, and that's kind of how it started. Yes. Because they would be like, Heather, where'd you spend this $1.88 18 months ago? Because we filed an extension, and so now it's even longer ago. And I'm like, I have no idea.
And I usually stay really updated my books, but for some reason you get behind a few months, and you're like, I don't remember what I bought off of, like, Amazon's easy to track it.
Okay,
but Lowe's,
people think that. How is that possible? How do you not know where your money went?
I know.
But you can kind of keep track of it in your head with one property.
Yes.
2 properties, you're like, yeah, okay, now I don't even know the addresses to my properties. Like, so trying to keep track of what dollar went where, and the bigger your team gets, you've really got to have a great system for that. And one of the first things that I did that was really impactful for us is I switched to an Amazon business account.
Yes.
And on the business, it's like the biggest hack, I feel like, for bookkeeping.
If you aren't using Amazon Business, do it immediately. Shameless, unsponsored plug.
Literally.
It's life-changing.
So the part that's life-changing is they let you put a PO in.
Yes.
And so for those of you who didn't work at a corporate job, your purchase order is your PO. And if you have to order supplies and you work for a big company, they require you to have a purchase order number. Mm-hmm. Well, Amazon lets you put that PO number. Well, I'm not a giant company, so I don't actually have PO numbers. So what I put in place is what company it's for and what tax category, meaning like, was this marketing? Was this like a maintenance expense? And obviously I don't know all my tax categories, but I know enough to know this goes somewhere in marketing. They can figure it out from there. This goes somewhere in maintenance, right? They can figure it out from there. And so my accountant can go in, my bookkeeper, go in, pulled all that out, and it has been life-changing because I mean, even we had an apartment that somebody had food everywhere that they'd left out and it got bugs. And so we had to bomb the apartment. Even that, I need to tie to that property.
Right.
So it's so easy to do that with that Amazon PO
So
section.
nice. Yeah.
Any other hacks like that with your systems and processes?
So right now I use an app called HubDoc.
Oh,
which,
I don't know that one.
It allows tagging. And so if you I'll be at Lowe's and I'll scan my receipt into this app, and then you can tag it so I have saved all of my property names, all the LLCs, and you can do multiple tags per receipt. And so while I'm sitting there, I can be like, a repair for this property, and it's in there, and then my bookkeeper can dig it out later.
I love that. What was it called?
A HubDoc.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. And again, y'all, this is me being so
It's a little clunky, but it's been really nice.
QuickBooks doesn't do something like that.
It should be. The tagging is amazing because while you're at the grocery, at the register, you can just do it. Because if I don't do it immediately,
it's not happening. I take pictures of the receipts
because I used to be I'd carry on a bag of crumpled receipts. I'm that person.
I think we've all been there. That's where you start because you don't know what else to do.
When you're a newbie, I just remember giving a plastic bag of receipts to my bookkeeper. I'm I'm sorry.
So what is one of your favorite things that you have kept and not outsourced?
That's a good question. I like the people aspect of running the team. I like the quarterbacking piece now. So working with the handymen and the maintenance guys and checking up on all the properties.
So essentially the management side of it.
Just the management side, the back end support. I really don't like the guest side that much, but you can roll with it. And then I still like to paint, but I try to be
oh man, I'm such a bad painter. I don't have the patience.
I love it. Well, it's very cathartic. When I'm stressed, I'll go paint. So
are all your properties have fresh paint then?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm slowly stepping out of it because I just don't have time anymore. But
ladies, it's time to redefine the conference experience with the Society of Entrepreneurial Women Retreats. Step inside a world tailored for women just like you, where you can lead, learn, and unwind in style. Our retreats offer everything from insightful investing sessions to fun activities like salsa dancing, boat cruises, food tours, and so much more, ensuring you come back not just inspired, but truly refreshed. Join a community that celebrates you wholly and supports your every endeavor. Ready for a retreat that changes the game? Visit the link in our show notes and find out how you can be part of this exclusive experience.
So So what's something that you're working on right? Because you have a lot of hats, right?
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of buckets going on here. Because you talked about the stock market and index funds and your day job, and you've got short-term rentals, and did you say mid-term rentals and long-term rentals?
The mid-term, short-terms are kind of the same bucket. Like we run a hybrid.
You're running a hybrid. Okay. Then you've got your family and your husband.
Yeah.
So with all of that, what's something you're working on right now that you're really excited about?
So right now I've gotten into like learning how to underwrite boutique hotels because I need more buckets to go into. But I really liked from doing the short-term rental experience and like having to build out a team for that. I really liked the broader picture and also like the somewhat economies of scale because yes, it's a small portfolio, but you can also source like linens in bulk and shampoo in bulk. And it's just really cool to start to see the scalability. So now I'm like hotels kind of make sense naturally to go in that route, but we'll see how that goes. But that's probably my next frontier because I mean, everything else is kind of automated at this point. Like the stocks and index funds, totally automated. I don't touch it. You just automatically set up how much you put in those accounts. You automatically set up what you're investing in. And that just kind of does like, you kind of forget you have those. And honestly, that's how it should be because I'm young enough. I don't need to touch that. It just needs to grow on the side and I don't need to stare at it. Long-term rentals are pretty straightforward. Like at this point, you know, you have something break or something weird happen every month, but it's not a big time suck. And then the short-term rentals are kind of the needy one, but with the right team, it becomes easier. And so you kind of get to focus on the areas you enjoy more and hand off more things. And
so with the boutique hotels, do you think, where are you in that process? Are you thinking that's what's
So we
next?
submitted our first LOI.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah. So we will see. It's out there in the world right now and we'll see what happens.
Who's we?
So me and a partner I met at a conference.
Oh,
So,
okay. And you have partners on anything else?
No.
How you feeling about a partnership?
So I feel really good because it's like another female investor and I think we just clicked pretty immediately and we've been walking through underwriting and learning and I'm kind of excited to work together with someone because she's so incredibly smart and has a totally different skill set than I do. I've had one partnership in the past that like we ended up just wanting to, we kind of wanted the same part of the puzzle and I needed someone to come in and be aligned. And so after that, I'm like, I don't really need to do partners anymore because, you know, single family homes, there's just not enough meat on the bone to really bring in partners because I'm like, your equity splits it's getting so low.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather build slowly 100% my own than double it and have partners.
So,
for the short term, I guess, and long term rental, single family houses or small multifamily anyway.
So you met her at a conference.
Yes.
What process did you go through to decide she was a good fit for you?
So I saw her speak actually at a conference and I just walked up and I'm like, hey, I have this hotel I've been staring at. And I just kind of hard pitched an idea at her. I was like, I'm going to do this. Like I was just at the point in my life where I'm like, I need to pivot and do something cool. So my dad passed away earlier this year. And I feel like I kind of was in a weird transition point where I'm like, I thought I would, you know, have this, you know, possibly be financially independent by now. And I didn't really hit that. You know, I was like, when my daughter's in first grade, I'm going to totally retire. And I'm like, yeah, but I keep moving the needle. You keep pushing the goal point down.
We have where
it's
we're
the
problem.
sickness. Yeah, I'm the problem. And so now my goalposts are farther away. And I'm like, you know, if you cut down your lifestyle, you could probably be there and be financially independent. But
we already admitted that.
I'm the problem. But I'm an expensive person. So here we are. So I'm like, all right, I need to do something bigger if I want that higher amount to be my goal. And so I'm like, I'm just going to do it.
So you submitted the offer. When do you hear back?
We don't know yet. So so this is like, we've been negotiating for a while.
Oh, okay. So they're going back and forth with you now.
Yeah.
They've responded to the LOI.
So we submitted one LOI in August. And then we've been going back and forth because we were trying to do some seller financing terms, but the remodel budget ended up being so large that we're like, it really makes more sense to do like an SBA loan on it versus, you know, seller financing or trying to raise enough capital. And so now we're trying to get him to do a seller carryback on that, which we can talk through what all of those words mean if you want to for your audience.
Have you done an SBA loan before?
No. So this will be my first one.
Okay. My only word of caution is it will take triple the amount of time they tell you it will.
Fantastic. Can't wait. It's banking. It's always so hard.
We have tons of girls in our mastermind that do SBA loans.
Yeah.
And I have not met a single one of them
that's made a deadline.
Yes. That didn't have to push it out multiple times. Yeah. And ones who really some people it's on them, right? They aren't getting their information in time, or they've got some stuff they've got to clean up or whatever. These are some really sharp ladies that own a lot of stuff already, and they've got their stuff down. And it's still taking 6-8 months sometimes to get through that process. I think the quickest one that I've heard was 4 months, but
but you really have to have your ducks in a row.
Yes, probably. Is the government shutdown going to affect that? I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't thought through that either.
I haven't either. You would think maybe, unless they're essential.
Why would they be essential?
I don't. I agree. That's why I was like, as I said it, I'm like, I have no idea.
And by the time this
we're going to find out.
Hopefully there's not a shutdown, and it won't be relevant.
Right.
Well, it's been so great to talk to you about this today. Where can people find you?
So I'm mostly on Instagram at Sarah King Invests. Very simple and easy. And then my Fort Wayne property management company is under Curated Fort Wayne.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Remember, authenticity is your superpower. Stay unapologetically yourself, and let's continue embracing our uniqueness together. Make sure you hit that follow button so you don't miss the next episode.